Hi everyone, Elliot here, and today I'm going to be explaining how to use Python environments, and more importantly, what they are. This usually isn't a beginner's topic, however, as we're moving so quickly on HSMA, it's good for everyone to have an understanding of what we're talking about when we mention environments, and what's going on when we either pip install or conda install a new package. One of the features of Python is the ability to add libraries and modules from other people, saving you from having to reinvent the wheel. Examples we've seen on HSMA so far include pandas and NumPy. Other examples include a package containing public holidays for lots of different countries, as well as a library to read tables from within PDF files, and there are lots more. Virtual environments allow you to group certain modules and libraries to a specific project. Normally, when you've been installing packages up until now, they've been going into the base or system-wide Python installation, which for many of you Windows users will have been installed when you installed Anaconda Navigator. To avoid cluttering base, you can group different modules into different virtual environments. This means that you can have different packages or even different versions of packages within different virtual environments. Up until now, this hasn't been an issue on the HSMA course. However, when we get to GeoPandas in Module 5, you'll need to create a new virtual environment. This will avoid breaking other packages with similar dependencies. So virtual environments, which are separate from your base or system-wide Python installation, each have their own directory or folder structure. So when starting a new project, you can create a fresh environment and install only the packages you want. You can even install different versions of Python if you so desire. Let's get more familiar with Anaconda Navigator. We can see the application is launched in front of us, and on the left-hand side we have the navigation pane. We've got the home and environment, which are the two ones we'll be looking at today. Then moving over to the right, we can see we've got two different drop-downs. The first one currently says all applications on, and then we can see here that it says base, which is the root environment. If I click on the drop-down, we can toggle between all, installed, not installed, and updatable applications. If I move down to not installed, click, you can see that the tiles below have changed and all the options now say install. If I wanted to install any of these, I'd just simply click the install button. The great thing is that Anaconda Navigator is point and click, meaning if we click on install, it will actually perform a number of command functions in the background, making it very easy for the end user. So let's take a look at what environments are currently on this Windows machine. If I click on the Environments navigation pane, you can see there are two environments here, base and PDF scraping. Moving to the right, we can then see a drop-down for installed, not installed, updatable, selected, and all. If we change to all, we can then see all packages that are available through the Anaconda repository, and we can search for something. For example, Spacey. We can see here that that will be available. There's no green tick against it because it's not currently installed on this system. So let's imagine that we want to create a new environment using Anaconda Navigator. To do that, I could simply go down and click the Create button. I'm going to call it New EMV001, and then I'm going to choose the version of Python that I would like. So I want to have 3.9. I'm going to click that and then the Create button. This will take a few moments to install. By changing this drop-down, we can now see the packages that are installed in this new environment, and we can see here from the scroll bar at the side that there are very few. So let's take a look and see what's actually happened on the system. To do this, I'm going to go into Anaconda Prompt, which is the DOS or terminal-like interface that you can also use for Anaconda. To do this on a Windows machine, I'm going to hit the Windows key and start typing in Anaconda, and you can see that we have Anaconda Prompt as the third option down. Once it's loaded, we can then get a list of environments currently on this machine by typing in conda env list and hitting return. Once the list is loaded, we can then activate any of these environments. We can do this by typing conda activate new env001. Hitting return, it'll take a second, and then you can now see on the left-hand side in parentheses it says new environment 001. If we wanted to see a list of all the packages installed here, we'd type in conda list. Give it a second, and it will then show you the very few packages that have been installed. Now let's imagine we wanted to create a brand new environment from scratch. We can do this here. I'm just going to clear the screen with CLS. Now I'm going to type in conda create -- name, and I'm going to call it new env002, and I'm going to specify that I would like Python version 3.9 installed against this new environment. I'll hit return. It will then ask me if I want to continue and install all of these dependencies. And once that's done, it's telling me if I want to activate my new environment, I just have to type in conda activate new env002, hit return. It'll take a moment, and now you can see on the left hand side I'm currently in that new environment. I'll just clear the screen. Now if I want to see which packages are installed, I'll just type in conda list again, and you can see there's not much there. Now let's imagine I wanted to launch Jupyter Notebook in this new environment. I've not actually installed it, so let's see what happens when I type in Jupyter Notebook. Hit return, and then it says there's no file there. So now I'm going to do a conda install Jupyter, and this will install Jupyter and all its dependencies to get the notebook to work. So I'll hit return. It will ask me if I want all these dependencies, so I'll say yes. Great. I'm just going to clear the screen. So now if we type in Jupyter Notebook, and I'm just using the up arrow keys to scroll through my previous commands, hit return, it'll think for a second, and then it'll launch a web browser and take me into Jupyter Notebook as expected. From here, I can launch a new notebook file. So I'm now going to close these and go back to the prompt. Because that's got Jupyter Notebook running, I'm pressing Ctrl+C to end it, and you can see I'm back to the prompt, CLS to clear the screen. Now you'll remember how we created this new environment in Anaconda prompt by typing in a command. If we now go back into Anaconda Navigator, you'll see this new environment that we've just created is listed here, new env002. Click onto that, and then we can see a list of installed packages. And then we can toggle between the different views by changing the drop down here on the left. Now some of you will remember the Spacey package from one of Dan's lectures. You'll recall that we had to use the pip install method to get this. So let's see how this would work in Anaconda prompt. To do this, we'll just Alt and Tab into the prompt again, and let's do pip install Spacey. Hit return. It will then collect all the dependencies, download them, and then install accordingly. Now that's finished, let's just take a look in Anaconda Navigator and see if anything's changed. Alt and Tab back, and we can see in env2 install packages, if I type in Spacey, there's nothing there. Now why is that? Let's just click on the drop down here and put all packages, and we can see that Spacey is available. Well, this is all to do with the fact we've used pip install as opposed to conda install. Pip install actually pulls from the Python packages index. Let's just take a quick look in this web browser, and you can see pypy.org. If we type in here Spacey, we can then see, oh, first search result, we have the installation instructions for Spacey and the documentation as well. Now, how does that differ if we install something through conda, so conda install? Well, that will actually download from the Anaconda repository, which also, if we type in Spacey in here, we can see that it has the same package available as in the same version number of 3.4.3. And these are just different repositories from where to pull your packages. I'll actually post a link in the description of this video helping you understand the difference between conda and pip, because all the information is in there. Also, you may find it useful to have a link to this cheat sheet. As you saw, I created an environment using commands. Well, this cheat sheet tells you how to do that. The final thing to point out is that you can actually delete an environment from Anaconda Navigator. And to do that, if I just click onto this environment, so I can make sure it's the active one, if I click remove, You'll then see it's asking me to confirm that I'm deleting this environment and which directory it resides within. So if I hit remove, it will then just take a few moments to remove it from the system, and it will disappear both from Anaconda Navigator, so it won't be on this navigation pane anymore, and also it will not be visible in Anaconda Prompt. So now the removal has completed, you can see it's no longer visible in this pane here. And if we go into Anaconda Prompt and do the conda env list, we can now see, as it was at the beginning, there are just 3 environments there, and we're currently in the base. So thank you for watching, and hopefully this short video has given you a better appreciation of what environments are and why they're important.